Hi guys, thanks for checking out my latest YouTube video. So in last week's YouTube video, which was a February favourites, I'll put a link to that below if you haven't already seen it. I said that this week I was going to do, well, I didn't say what I was going to do this week. I said I was going to Scooby-Doo. What is wrong with my mouth? It was going to be a surprise. So the reason it was going to be a surprise is because, to be honest, at the time I didn't know what I was going to film. But I have decided to do a where to buy Levi 501's and tips to when you are buying them. So the reason I've decided to do this is because a lot of the comments that I get under my YouTube videos are related to this. So I thought I would collate all of the questions and things like that that I get asked into one video, and hopefully that'll help you guys in the future, or anybody that's looking to buy a pair of Levi 501 jeans and can't find them or not sure about the sizing. So guys, I hope you like this video. If you do, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my blog, holliescloset.blogspot.com. I update that every Wednesday, and if you haven't had a chance yet, I have recently done a new post all about my love-hate relationship with a big new trend, pink. So I'll put a link to that blog post in the description box below. Don't forget to check out my other social media, guys, and I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Holliescloset. And yeah, I hope you like this video. If you do, I always love to get feedback from you, and if you've got any further questions, just leave me a comment in the box below. And I hope you like this video. Have a great Sunday, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next Sunday, hopefully, or on Wednesday on my blog. And I think on Sunday next week I'm going to do a party wear lookbook. So it's my mum's 50th next Saturday. She's having a party, so I thought I'd tie it all in together and do a party wear lookbook. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Like I said, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you later. Okay guys, I've got my little notebook, I've got my bullet points, and I'm ready to go with tip number 1. Okay, so tip number 1 is sizing. Obviously this is the most obvious one because you want to make sure that whatever you buy is going to fit you. So the biggest tip that I can give you, and what I actually did before I bought my Levi 501's, is I was a little bit cheeky and I went into the Levi 501 shop and I tried on different sizes in Levi 501's. I also made sure that I tried on men's sizes in Levi 501's because the fit is slightly different. So I know Levi originals, they should all be the same, but for me, I felt like the modern Levi originals in the women's were a little bit different to the men's ones, so I wanted to make sure that I got my sizing right. So to give you an example of sizing, just so you know what I use as a basis, so with my black Levi 501's, I am a waist 30 and a length 32, but do keep in mind that I always cut off the hem on my Levi 501's because I prefer a softer hemline and I feel it looks less harsh. So yeah, I'm a 32 length, but that accounts for the fact that I like to cut off the hem as well. The fit on these, they don't come up as high as another pair that I've got that I'm going to show you, but they fit comfortably. So I would say probably a size 10 in Topshop jeans, and Topshop do size a little bit smaller, and I'm a size 8 in H&M jeans. So I would say size 10, if you're a size 10, waist 30 should fit you. So that's like a starter point for you. Having said that, although I have just said I'm a waist 30, when I also fit into a waist 28 as well. With a waist 28, however, which is this pair of lighter Levi 501's, they do come slightly higher up and they are tighter, which that is fine. But I would wear these more on, I would say, an evening when I'm not going to be in them all day, because they are a little bit tighter and because they come a little bit higher up, and I find that a little bit more uncomfortable if I'm sitting down and moving around a lot. Whereas the black ones, a waist 30, fit me perfectly, they're really, really comfortable. Okay, the next tip that I'm going to give you is number 2. So don't discount charity shops and thrift shops. After I got my sizing down, I knew that I didn't want to pay full price in Levi's because they're about £80 plus in Levi's, and I wasn't willing to pay that. So once I had my sizing, like I said, I then started looking in charity shops and thrift shops, and that is actually where I found these ones. So don't forget, in charity shops you can still try things on. So yeah, I tried these on and they fit. They were a little bit tighter, but I like the fit of them, so I bought them. And these actually cost me £3 from a charity shop, so they were a bargain. Women, when you go in charity shops, don't discount menswear. Always go and have a look through the menswear jeans, because I think a lot of, this is a real generalisation here, I think unless you know what you're looking, unless the staff that are hanging up the jeans know that the sizes could be used for women as well, a lot of the time this style of Levi 501 jeans always ends up in the men's section. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a bit of a generalisation, but when I go to charity shops, I try to go to little market towns and things like that where they're not going to be greatly picked over, and I find that sometimes they see this style of jeans and just bang it straight in the menswear. So always make sure that you check out menswear when you're looking in charity shops. So once you've looked in charity shops and had a good route round, like I said, go to little market towns, you know, little cities that have lots of charity shops. They always seem to be the hidden gems. So leading straight on to tip number 3 is vintage shops. Don't discount vintage shops. And actually, as I'm saying it, it probably seems quite obvious that obviously you want vintage style jeans. Levi 501 sort of are a vintage fit. They're an original for the Levi company. That going in vintage shops is obvious. If you don't have any vintage shops in your town, then have a look online for any vintage fairs. So where I live, we have quite a few vintage fairs. If you live near a university as well, or you've got a university in your town and city, they will often have vintage fairs as well, and normally anybody can go to them. You might not get special discount if you're not a student, but normally it is open to the general public, so don't discount vintage shops. And actually the vintage store is where I got these black Levi 501s from. Let's go on to tip number 4. I'm struggling with my hands there. So let's go on to tip number 4, buying online. So buying online, the reason I suggested going into Levi 501s and trying on a pair and getting your sizes right is because if you want to buy them online. So you've got Amazon, eBay, Etsy, you know, there's loads of vintage stores that sell mainly online. And if you go into Levi's and find out what style you are, like I said, make sure you try on menswear as well. It means it frees you up to be able to shop online and gives you the freedom to be able to do it whenever you want. You don't have to go into town and traipse into town. You don't have to traipse through charity shops because you might not always find Levi 501s. And yeah, you've got a bit more freedom online. So that's why I said to go into Levi 501 shops. Obviously with a charity shop and a vintage shop, they have changing rooms most of the time, so you can try them on and work out what sizes you are. But online, you kind of want to know your sizes before you're buying them, and so you know when you get them, they're going to fit you and you don't have to faff around returning them. One thing I will say though, even though in a charity shop and a vintage shop you can try them on, sometimes it's helpful to know what size you are before you have to go trying on reams and reams of trousers. Okay, so one more tip that's literally just sprung to mind now is don't forget to check out designer outlets. So check out online if they have a Levi store and go in there and you can try them on until your heart's content. They're not going to be as cheap as vintage. They're not going to be as cheap as vintage stores. I'm really struggling to get the word vintage out of my mouth. They're not going to be as cheap as vintage stores. I don't know why that's become such a tongue twister, or charity shops, or even online, because if you have a look on eBay there is thousands of them on there. But they are going to be cheaper than the Levi store that you find on your high street. I hope that makes sense and I've not said vintage wrong too many times or shop wrong too many times. But yeah, check out discount Levi stores because they normally have reams and reams of Levi 501s. You can try them on till your heart's content, and they're going to be a little bit cheaper than the Levi 501s. Got there in the end with that last tip. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope you like this video, guys. I hope some of my hints and tips are helpful to you. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll either see you on Wednesday over on my blog, or I'll see you back here on Sunday for a party lookbook. Have a nice week, guys, and I'll hopefully see you then. Bye!